One more thing about this factoring stuff. Whenever there's a negative on the leading value, the leading coefficient, so in this case here, this negative 2, that negative means the first step is to factor out a negative. Always. That is the first step. If the leading coefficient is negative, the first thing you got to do is factor out a negative. Main reason for that is to make things easier. The other reason is to avoid having problems with signs later in the problem. I could give you guys a whole bunch of ones to practice. We could see how many we get right, how many we get wrong. And generally speaking, these are harder. But I think you can just trust me on it. If I factor a negative 1 out, now I'm left with this thing. 2p to the 5th plus 10p to the 4th minus 12p to the 3rd. Basically, factoring out that negative 1 changes all the signs. So now I look at it and say, okay, what else can I do with it? Pull out a 2? Okay. Yep. So let's factor out a 2. So this is now negative. Actually, I'm not even going to write it that way. I'll write it the way I wrote the last problem, which is negative 1 times 2. So there's the 2 I pulled out. So that leaves me p to the 5th plus 5p to the 4th minus 6p to the 3rd. And then to clean it up, I'll combine these guys. Negative 2 p to the 5th plus 5p to the 4th minus 6p to the 3rd. Is that, can I do anything? Can I do more? How many p's? 1p? 2p squared? P to the 3rd? P to the 4th? P to the 3rd. The lowest of the 3 exponents would be the GCF. So we're going to pull that guy out too now. So I'll write down what I'm doing. Factor out a p cubed. So it's negative 2p to the 3rd. Leaves me p squared plus 5p minus 6. Now here's the thing about this whole GCF part of it, pulling out that greatest common factor. I went from having to deal with stuff on the order of p to the 5th, and now I'm down to p squared plus 5p minus 6. We've done those problems, lots of them. We should be comfortable with those by now, and if not, we've still got a couple more days to get there, but that's the expectation. So let's go. I'm just going to write that up here. So p squared plus 5p minus 6. Let's see. P squared is a p and a p. Negative 6. 2 and negative 3. 1 and negative 6. That also could be negative 1 and 6. And negative 2 and 3, right? Any of those could do it? A little bit of a trick. I know that the middle number is positive. I have a positive 5 there. So the bigger number I have to pick between these two should be positive. So it's either going to be negative 1 and 6 or negative 2 and 3. You think so? All right, let's try it. Don't second guess yourself too much. And I know you guys, when we started, there was a lot of complaint. Oh, there's so much checking. It's so much work for one problem. The more we do this, the better you get at spotting the way to set it up. It's a skill. Practice. Look for shortcuts. Kind of condition your mind to see, oh yeah, if I try this, it's more likely to work. The good news is you can always get there by brute force. Just keep pounding at it. Eventually you'll find the factors. You'll guess and check your way there. And now I can write my final answer. The full factorization is negative 2p to the 3rd, quantity, p minus 1, p plus 6.